Hello, my beautiful soul family. Welcome to my channel, The Mystical Hummingbird. I'm really happy to be with you again today after being gone for a bit. I did send you a video from Chile. We just got back yesterday with my little patient and we're excited to be back home here in Utah. It started to get too cold for my taste over there, although I do like the cold because it's cozy and you can be with warm ambience of a heating stove, a wooden stove, and then you have gotta sit me up here better, I'm too low. And then you have just the coziness of being in a warm place with candles and good people to talk with, and your nice cup of tea or mate or whatever. So, but it started to get too cold, and we were in the southern part of Chile, and it gets pretty cold now. It's the end of the autumn, and so the rains started coming. And when the rains come, because we're right by the Andes, and so it was time for us to come. So while being there, this trip was not just like it was a little getaway, but more than that, it was more of a trip for finding things. And it was actually a spiritual retreat for me and my little patient. We went to see someone very special that I've known for, I want to say over 20 years. This lovely person that came into my life and has has actually enriched my life in many ways, and I feel very grateful and indebted to them for so much wisdom that has been provided and so many insights. And excuse me, I need to move this thing is too low for me, and I feel like I'm falling. Gotta find the right position to get myself situated here. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so as I showed you on my last video, being there, I had such a good time. It was a whole month of a blessed month, I want to say, that I felt very inspired, and it did bring me to a place where I saw many sides of me, because I'm in this ever eternal journey of the self. And so while there, I have some thoughts after my last video that I made for you. I started thinking about awakening our divine potential, something that we don't all understand that we are, that we may have. So I wanted to find a way to convey my thoughts to you on this subject. And so while walking an early morning there out in the orchard where I was at, this thought came to my mind. I've been on this spiritual quest pretty much all of my life, seeking the presence of God, seeking the unknown, seeking for answers about my origins, and something I don't consider myself, I am in this world, and with all humbleness, I'll admit and say that I no longer conform, nor will I ever conform to the main, the society, what people normally they accept for I've been on this quest since I was little, and I finally realized that I've needed to respect myself enough to go on this quest alone. For this, the journey of the self is a lone quest, and I consider myself a lone wolf. I've been alone for many, many, many years. I've become my best friend. I can go to a restaurant and have the most delicious company, me. And you'll probably think, oh, she's conceited. Yes, I am. I'm conceited. I think much of me for me. I'm not better than anyone else out there. I never try to copy this. I do my own thing. I play to the beat of my own drum. I finally am able to say, I mean, this is the public. I am here undressing my thoughts to the public, to the unknown, pretty much, because you don't know me and I don't know you, any of you, except the knowledge of that we are all linked, that we are all one in this universe, multiverse of souls that are trying to find themselves. Now, I don't know how deep people are conscientious about trying to find themselves, if they are aware of the self at all. But I've been aware of myself since I was a little girl. And I have this relationship with me since I was about, from what I can remember, around 2, 3, 4 years of age. I have memory of myself, conversing with myself about deep things, deep thoughts. Like I remember one time, and I think I've mentioned to you once, my grandmother, our grandmother said to me, brought to my attention, Vivi, you've been outside for over 10 hours. And I think she kind of exaggerated the 10 hours bit, but I think she said that, just to make me think that I've been outside for a long, long time. Now, I know that I've been outside for a long time, and I know that I have come in to have lunch and things like that, but my grandmother said it in a way that, you've been outside for about 10 hours. And then I heard a voice behind my ear, like the hummingbird, because this is why I call it channel, the mystical hummingbird, because I consider myself to be a little hummingbird of sorts. But it was my own voice. You see, when I was little, I never confided to my family, even only this last later years. And in my journals, I have many journals. Like this is one of them. This one says my journey, but I have, if I count them, I have maybe altogether probably over 100, and I burned some of them when I went through a very painful period in my life where I doubted everything. I didn't want no one to know how I really felt. So I burnt them, and I burnt them consciously, knowing that as I burnt them, those memories would be appeased, and I would be, what's the word? When you let go of something that no longer is good for you, like that's detrimental to your sense of self. I had lost me. Many years ago. I'd lost myself. So I had to recuperate. I had to resuscitate who I truly am. And this is why I'm here now. I've been asked to be here over a year ago by my creator. Now back to when I was little, the voice I heard, it was my own voice. It was my little friend, my own little mini Vivi. My name is Viviana, and I was called Vivi since I was little. And so my other Vivi, she whispered and said, time does not exist. And I closed my eyes. I will never forget it. And I was, what? Time does not exist? I mean, I'm probably like maybe 5 years of age. And no, time does not exist. Everything is lived at this moment. So you have been here. See, that little voice was talking to me like an adult, and I'm the little girl. So that was my higher self. And this is that little doll that came to me, that I've told you, that literally came to me, Amor, my little doll, Amor. Uh, she said to me, you live the present moment. All moments are lived in the present moment. Like, let's say, oh, I went on a vacation to Australia last year and it was amazing, and I did this and this and that. And so you're telling the story about last year. You had this amazing story. You went to Australia and on this vacation with your family, and you did this and this and that. Well, you go back to that time, and when you were living that moment, it was lived in a present moment. Therefore, when you're telling the story, you're thinking you're talking about the past, but the past, the future, and the present, they're all linked, they're all one. And therefore, so you live that moment in the present. So there is no past. And if you think of the future, you think, oh, I'm going to build this house in Montreal, and it's going to be a 4-story, and this in the future, You're imagining you're going to do this, and I have the plans, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then you're thinking for the future. Then when you are doing that, you're living that in a present moment. I don't know if you understand me, this concept of time, but time is relevant, and time really does not exist. And many people, I hear them say, oh, but time is flying by. Look, we're almost stepping on May. Yes, we're almost stepping on May. But time does not exist. It's just the present moment. So therefore, this is why I always tell you, relish this what is. If you are in a hospital with your wife giving birth, that relish that moment. If you are in a school giving a class, a lesson, relish that moment. You're living the moment. You're driving your car and you are thinking of something, a memory that comes to you. You're living another moment in this moment. I have lived a moment while driving, and I've told you this story too, and I had a memory from a past present moment come and linked itself to the present moment while I was driving into this multiverse, and it intertwined itself like this, and I lived 2 moments in 1 moment. I don't know if you understand me, and you might think I'm insane, and I've often thought there's something wrong with me, because people would say you're too intense for me. No, so I don't really have like many friends, and I'm okay with that. And the ones that I do have are, I can count them like this. For me, trustworthiness, loyalty, especially loyalty, is number 1. Number 2 is love of self. If a person doesn't love themselves and they're always complaining and this and this and this, I choose not to be around them. I have nothing, no qualms about, and I don't judge anyone, because everyone chooses to be how they want to be. So I live in my own bubble. And I'm not saying that, I don't allow people in my life, no. But because I am in this journey of the self and I'm discovering things about me, I am doing everything possible to please me. And I know it sounds selfish, and yes it is, but I've never been selfish in that way, because I've always tried to give, and I'm not saying this to make me pat myself in the back or anything, no. Like, I believe that everything should be balanced and reciprocated. You never give thinking, well, I'm giving so that you can give me. No, it's not done that way. You give from your heart, whether it's your time, your love. But when you are not reciprocated, and if you're ignored, and if you are abused or anything else, that's not good for you. So you need to put yourself first. You come first, you come second, you come third, and then when you stay back and you look back and you think, okay, my cup is full. Now I can cherish my time. I can cherish my, some of my finances or whatever that you may want to share with others. You know what I mean? But it's very important to feel and feed yourself before you feed anyone else. And I mean that literally, because we need to be compassionate, yes. Loving, yes. Forgiving, yes. But we need to consider ourselves number one, because when we were created, sometimes people are born together like twins, and some of them are stuck together for the rest of their lives. Some are separated. Those are very unique cases. But for the most of humanity, we're born alone. And when we're thrown into this life, which we have chosen to come here, most of us have forgotten what we are, why we're here. Now it's very important for people to open up their minds and try to find a place where they can find the wisdom of why they're here, and find that knowledge. Excuse me, have a drink. There's nothing better than water. So back to this. Well, I've been seeking all this time, all these years, into the unknown, and pretty much threw myself into the rabbit hole to find the rabbit, kind of. I was very anxious. I had like an anxiety almost, but it wasn't. I realized it wasn't an anxiety. It was more of a hunger for life, a hunger for the knowing, a hunger for understanding of why I am, what I am, who I am, and to understand my role in this world, because it's important for me. Yes, I am a mother. I was a mother very young. I have 3 children, beautiful children that I'm very grateful for. And those 3 children have given me grandchildren. I have 11 of them, beautiful grandchildren. Now, in this journey, I've been a member of 2 different denominations. And like I said, I don't talk about religion. But for me, religions are man-imposed. And that's all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say anything derogatory or negative about any other religions, because people need to be, they're at where they need to be themselves, where they choose to be. And I respect that, as I expect to be respected for my desires of my spiritual journey. Okay, so I think of the countless of experiences lived throughout my life, and I remember how facing my shadows and seeking my Father's guidance to enlighten my mind and find the best that lies within me. It hasn't been easy. I tell you, for we all have shadows. When I say shadows, we all have dark and we all have light within us. We all have a past. We all have experiences that some may be ashamed of, or some may be afraid that the world will find out, or whatever. But we all have something that we're not proud of. You know what I mean? So what I want to say about that is that the darkness that we may have had, or experiences, all of them are there for us to learn from, to learn about us and about others. But when we acknowledge and we use compassion towards ourselves, we can then remove them, and then we can weigh what has held us down, obstructing us from our spiritual growth. Now, I know that's a lot to say, because we live in a world, in a day and age when I know there's people that are seeking truth, and the truth lies within you. It lies within each one of you, each one of us. Like, I've been seeking my truth, and I've been accepting. I said, okay, I believe that. That makes sense to me. So I'm standing by that, because I'm standing in myself. I'm creating a garden of sorts. My foundation is important for me. It's important for me to know my whereabouts. It's important for me, my origins, where I come from. It's not about so much, where my grandfather came from Portugal or from Spain or whatever it may be, or Italy or any other place in the world. It's not so much that, but it's the depth of what is brought to me about my ancestors. They speak to me in my dreams, and I understand it in a total different way than what the world understands it. But that's me, because I seek that. And I truly believe that what we seek, we find. We knock, someone will eventually open the door, right? We can achieve balance and fulfillment once we release the weight we ourselves have allowed to weigh on our, bringing us down. Many, like I've mentioned before, may have shame due to unfortunate past decisions, mistakes, whether it was people have been in with drug problems, they've been abusing drugs, they may have been to jail, or things that could be, oh my goodness, she went there, or she did this, or he did that. All of us have a past. Some of them are more harder than others. The lessons may be harder than others, but that person, whoever they may be, we need to be compassionate with them, because there's a story, there's a heart within that being, and that we need to, even the cruelest of people, they have a heart. They have a love, whether you may think, oh no, they can't love anyone, they killed or they raped or they did this and they abused children and that. Everyone has a heart. Everyone has a soft place that they hide, and if they don't show it, it's because they're afraid. Fear is what keeps people from becoming the best of themselves. This is what I'm trying to say. I've myself shed many tears for mistakes that I've made in the past, that I've committed in my own life. One of the worst that I can think of is unknowingly, and I will say that truly, unknowingly and unconsciously and ignorantly, I've taken God's role as a father and obstructed someone's spiritual growth and my own, because I want to think that I did that thinking that that was the right thing to do, and I acknowledged it. And I normally I would never say this to anyone, but you can see it however you want to see it. But that my lesson was that I understand now I cannot take God's place. God, my creator, my father, he is my creator and the creator of all this, the galaxies, the universes, and every human being that lives within this earth. And I was taught from little. My mother and father, I came from a place, my mother and father worked all their lives. When we moved to the States when I was a little girl, my mother had never worked in Chile except in her own home. My mother played the piano and she played the guitar. She took classes of she played the classical guitar. That was one of her, she loved music. She wanted to have been a music teacher, but she never accomplished that. But what I want to say is that my mother never knew hard labor or anything like that in Chile. We were a middle class family. But when we moved to the States and we lived in Chicago, my mother had to go to work, and she worked at night in a factory. And once she came home and she had dried blood on her nose, she had been hit by someone because she wasn't working fast enough on a line. My mother, that was very educated and very fine and a sweetheart of a person, she was humiliated, and it broke my heart to see her that way, because I was the oldest. I am the oldest of 4 siblings, and I couldn't do anything. I was just a young kid, but that taught me to appreciate my mother in a way that I couldn't have seen it if she had not done that for me, for us. And we all have choices. My mother and I, we didn't get along in many ways because I've always been kind of like the black sheep of the family, and we butted heads. Also, my mother, we're mother and I, we have the same a month of birth, and her birth, my birthday is the day before hers. So we normally later years we celebrated our birthdays together. We're both Sagittarius, and so we had a tendency to butt heads all the time. But I saw many things in my mother. I reflected. It was like a mirror. My mother, I saw many things in my mother and me. And we always tend to say, oh, I'm never going to be like my mom. And we become like our mothers a lot of the time until we acknowledge and think, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't work. I'm not going to do that. So we make choices of the things that we do. And we have free choice always. And I thought that what the master taught, he taught a profound lesson about obedience and trusting the Father's guidance. Jesus used a fisherman's boat to preach and then instructed Simon and Peter to cast his nets in deep water where they caught an incredible amount of fish. He showed them how to do it. He didn't do it for them. He showed them how. I know this isn't a literal lesson on fishing technique, but the story highlights for me the importance of obedience, humbleness, trust in God's power and guidance in our lives, and allow for someone's how do I say this? We must not obstruct Father's guidance and the allowance for Him to move in our lives as a child, as a parent, as a friend. We should always stay back and respect, but also see the lesson. The phrase, teach a man to fish, should be often used to convey and explain the idea of empowering someone to become self-sufficient and finding long-term solutions, which aligns with the broader message of Jesus' teaching and instructions to the people. So, to awaken our divine potential, we must seek within, become vulnerable. And this is something that I feel, because I've heard many people say, I can't be vulnerable. And the reason for that is because people, when you become vulnerable, you're vulnerable to be hurt again. You think, oh, I was hurt, he did that to me, or she did this to me, and he abused me, or she abused me, whether it was physical or whether it was mental abuse, any type of abuse, and any type of anything like that we have lived, it can cause us to become, withdrawn, and then we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to open ourselves up to, because we'll think immediately, oh no, I don't know, that person's going to hurt me. I have been asked on dates several times by different people, and I chose not to date anyone up to today. I don't have a partner. I am like I said, I'm a lone wolf, and some people have thought, and actually they've told me that they think that I was too conceited or things like that, that what do I think of myself, and I think too much of me. And it's not like that at all, and it's not about becoming vulnerable, because I can be, but I just choose not to. The thing is that I have something, since I can detect energies and I can feel people's intentions. And like the one time, I think, I don't know if I told you guys, God saved me from being raped, and He speaks to me in my mind, and I knew that person, I needed to to hide. And I I'm in a spiritual quest, and I am loving myself, and I'm more of a Sigma person, if that makes any sense. But I have an understanding that all the things that I'm living in this life are giving me lessons that I need to go through, and then I can better interact with others, and I can empathize, and I can share my experiences, the way I see the world, the way I see life. And because my life truly is magical for me, that I desire the same for all of you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go as far as to say that I believe that we all have a special person that God created specially for us to walk life with. But many of us have not found that person because of whatever reasons, well, not whatever reasons, because we have not asked. I can only say that for myself, I have known for many years, I have someone, I have dreams with that person, I know who that person is, and I have a relationship, I have a spiritual relationship with this person before that person comes into my life. And I have a high respect for this person, an amazing human being. And I am in this journey of the self, and I have been asked to come here to this channel and share and be vulnerable and teach people to be vulnerable. And it's something that you acquire, but you know how you become vulnerable and it doesn't hurt you, because it won't. Vulnerability will not hurt you. What you perceive to hurt you, it's the thought of fear that you have. And if you don't have self-awareness, if you don't have a confidence, if you don't build yourself like on a rock, like I grab this rock here, this crystal. If you create your life, if you create yourself, you build yourself upon a rock. And what is the rock? For me, is God. I'm not talking about religion, any religion. I am talking about the creator of the heavens and of the light, the creator of all things, of all galaxies and universes, the creator that placed me here. And therefore, I add, it's like that's my ground. So I add the soil, the seeds that I put in to create my garden is the things that I choose for me, that is my truth. Loyalty, love, compassion, forgiveness. I seek wisdom. I seek the beauty of life. I seek that which is unknown. I seek that which people don't even never think about. There is beauty in silence. Between notes, there's beauty. There's something between the words. Nature teaches in millions of ways. Have you ever seen and watched a crackling fire outside when you're in the nature and you are in a cabin, and then you go build this fire outside and you can sit for hours and observe how it crackles and the smell it brings, the woodsy smell, and you see it burn, the energy it gives and it evokes. When you watch a butterfly fly from flower to flower, and when she finally finds a place to place herself, then you look at her and she's kind of letting you admire her beauty, the way she's marked, the way she's like someone took a pencil and made all these beautiful designs on her. When you are by the ocean and you observe the waves crashing against the rocks, and that sound it brings, and then the smell of the ocean, the smell of, there's a special smell about the sea, and then you walk on the foamy, uh, the seashore with the foamy water, and your feet touch the sand. It gives you a sensation, this delicate sensation. What can I? It's just something so specific that it gives you. It gives you this special feeling, and then when you reach the water, when you submerge yourself in the water, and you become vulnerable with the nature, and you just let go, you open up your arms and you just release yourself and let yourself float. The waves, the ocean embraces you, and you feel the love. I don't know if you follow what I'm trying to say. Like when I tell you that I can dive in a flower and you submerge yourself in her smell and the odor and the aroma. When you hold a brand new baby in your arms, it has this delectable, beautiful smell that nothing on the earth has a smell of a newborn baby. When you hear the birds in the morning, after you wake up and you hear the birdies singing, when you watch the plants, like I love to get starters, little plants that I'm going to plant in my garden. Then I watch them grow, the tiny little buds start coming up, the little seeds are springing and coming up. It's like magical. When the sun hides itself and it's just all cloudy, and I always think the sun is taking a break, and then he comes out in all his glorious. I do rituals in the morning where I am. What's the word? Let me think. I ground myself, and there's another word. I'm glad. When you, sometimes I forget the words because I have it in the other languages and it doesn't come in English right now. But when you go to the earth and you become one with her, and so with the earth and my rituals and Mother Earth, Pachamama, and my father's son, my Ra, my lion, because for me God is a lion, and I say literally that because I just climb on him and I go off since I can remember. I feel that the mind is the greatest, the most beautiful tool we've been given by God. So back to this about becoming vulnerable. So to awaken our divine potential, we must seek within, become vulnerable and humble ourselves before our Maker, and desire true change. We must cultivate our inner awareness, seeing truthfully our dark spaces. And when you see your dark spaces, don't be harsh on yourselves, because we're here to learn. We all make mistakes. Nobody was born knowing everything. Well, Christ was one, and I'm sure there's other ascended masters and very spiritual, highly spiritual beings, but those are very few of them. But most of us are here to learn, and we learn by unfortunately making mistakes. But fortunately, those that learn, they can change their lives. And then, like Gandhi said, you be the change. If you want things to change, you be the change. And I remember, who was it that said it? When you look at the things how was it? When you look at the way things, when you see the things that you look at change, how was it now? I'm getting confused with that saying. It's really interesting, but let's see if it'll come back to me. Wayne Dyer said it, something about looking at the way you see the things change, and the things will change because the way you, whether you look at them, how the way you look at them, they will change, something like that. So removing shame, removing pain of past mistakes, and embracing change, and holding ourselves accountable before our Maker and our own selves, maintaining and creating spiritual practices that can help us, and again embracing a new life aligned with one's highest self. Who we focus, when we focus on gratitude of all we have experienced, knowingly and unknowingly, we can then determine and place ourselves where we deem ourselves to be, and go forward to greater understanding of our daily creations of what we create. We create equilibrium, balance in this life, and we cover past karmas because not everyone believes in other lives. I'm one that does because I believe in that I have memory. I've been given bits and pieces of different lives the last several years, and then it's helped me to understand myself better and to love myself more and forgive myself for past mistakes, like little bits and pieces here and there. I read one time in Proverbs, in the Bible. I read, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Not only unfolds the entirety of a man's being, but it is also inclusive where every condition and circumstances, experiences of his life literally are due to what he thinks. So, as I think in my heart, so I am. And I believe that this is important to know because isn't it important to know what we think for ourselves? What makes you be you? What makes you, what moves you? What is there passion in you? Do you think of life as just a mere, well, it's just like, I'm just here, whatever the F, whatever the F can happen, I'm just here. And some people say, I didn't ask to come here. Let me tell you, we all asked to come here. All of us, each one of us should be accountable for being here, and then making our being here, making it make a difference. And for yourself, make a difference for yourself. If you're living a shitty life, excuse my English here, if you're having a life that you're not really happy with, what makes you not want to change it? Why wouldn't you want to change it? Do you believe you can change it? And then it's all up to you. It's all up to you. Our thoughts and belief systems that we hold within our subconscious mind profoundly impact, and thus we are influenced by what we think. Thus we become what we think. Do you ever ask yourselves who influences your thoughts? For their thoughts eventually become actions and ultimately our lives, our daily experiences. So are we going to blame? Who are we going to blame? Yes, people can influence you. And if someone kills another human being, that's of its own accord. No one came to them and told them, grab that gun and shoot that person, or kill all those kids in that school, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We can be influenced, but it's how much do we allow others to influence you? And this is where I put my foot down for myself, because I am not part of the whole craziness out there. I choose not to be, for I know there's other realms. I know there's another reality. You can live whatever you want to live. I believe with all my heart and soul that we are creators, co-creators with the Creator Himself. For me, the creator is both man and woman. I am both. I carry both male and female within me. And the part of the male for me, I understood this since I was a little girl when I crossed the street. My ego. My ego, I made my ego my friend. Ego is good. I will talk about ego another time. Most people say, oh, I'm going to get rid of ego. Getting rid of ego is like getting rid of the dough. I mean, not the dough, the yeast. You need love to create, so it lifts you. It lifts the bread. Ego helps you if you allow it. Now, if you allow ego to command your life, ego will have a hold of your life, and you will have no sense of self, and you will just be whatever you allow your ego to take over you. You are the owner of your thoughts. You, as a woman, as a man, you own the thoughts of your mind, of your heart, the feeling of your heart. You are responsible for thought. You are responsible for action. You are responsible of your consequences. Don't you want to live a happy life? Don't you want to go to bed and lay back on your pillow and have the best night's sleep with a good, clean conscience? That you don't have anything to be, if your life is taken right now at this moment, when you face your maker, you will not be ashamed. And you know of what? Of having lived a fulfilling, happy life. Let go of all of your, oh, he did this and she did that, and my life was crap, and people have done this to me and people have done that to me, because we have unknowingly or knowingly allowed it. Okay, be done. Basta. No más, no more. Be done. And then recreate your world. What do you want to find your world? What do you want to use as your foundation? Find something that is sturdy and strong. Some, when I tell you and I compare, like the garden, I want the best soil for my garden. I want the best flowers in my garden. I remove the weeds. I don't want the weeds. I want to have a beautiful, organized garden with purpose. I want to know where my herbs are at. I want to know the best smelling flowers for when I create wreaths, because I make wreaths. I've learned to master. I use the nature and create wreaths, very beautiful ones. Not to brag, but it's just something that I love to do, and I find in nature all types of seeds and little branches, and I find such pleasure in creating these things. And I took a course when I lived in Europe. I took for 2 years. It was called blomsterbinding, which is flower binding. I learned that, and then I've also learned to work with bonsai trees. I love the art of bonsai. Anything to do with nature, anything to do with beautifying my surroundings, my world, it's just part of me. I cannot not be with plants and flowers around me. That's just me. So this is why I think it's so important for us that the foundation of our lives consists of what we have built, our so-called character. I don't care what people think of me, and when I'm gone from this earth one day, I want my family to be proud of me. Not in the sense, oh, that she's accomplished all these different things. No, the type of a person that I have been, the kind of a mother that I have been, the type of a sister, the type of a friend, the type of a caretaker, the type of a wife and grandmother, because I am also and I've never called myself a grandmother because no one calls me that. That my kids call me Momo because I lived in Denmark and I speak Danish. And my grandchildren call me Momo, which means mother's mother. It means grandmother in English. And then my son, I only have one boy, and he has his children. Because he's my son, then I'm called Famoa, which is father's mother. It sounds different, but that's what I'm being called. I will never be called grandmother, and I don't feel like a grandmother anyway. I'm too young to feel. I don't think I'll ever feel like a grandmother. Anyway, so this is why it's so important for us to know ourselves. What makes us tick? What triggers us? What inspires us? So we can find and create the best outcome of ourselves in our best authentic being. I heard somewhere, fear is a liar and love is the answer. I don't know who said that. Where did I read that? I read it somewhere online. I thought that was beautiful. And truth is one and paths are many. So seek the path that triggers you to be happy. You see, I feel for me, passion and the knowing of the self, all these things combined together, finding myself, finding that excavating what makes me be me, and awakening to the divine potential, because I feel I am a divine being. If you were to ask me, well, what are you? Who do you think you are? I don't think I am. I know I am. I am a child of the creator of the heavens and of the earth and of the galaxies, of the universes. I'm a child of the light. I belong to this light. I come from the light. I have been in the darkness, but now I've chosen to walk in the light. I have dreams that come to fruition for me, literally exactly like the dream was. I've met someone, the person that I have in dreams. I met them on my trip on the way home, and I am happy. I am very happy for my life. I'm happy for the relationship I have with my creator, with my Abba, with my lion. I am happy that I have spiritual guides that guide me in my dreams. And I also have spiritual guides on the earth. I know that I walk with angels. And I'm not special. I'm like everyone else. Yet I can say I am different because I feel different, because I know who I am. A year ago, I was very afraid to come here. And I was afraid because of thinking, what are people going to think? But I don't really care anymore what people think. I only care what I think of me, and I care what my maker thinks of me. I see how my life is working. I had an accident some over a month ago, before I went on my trip in March. And it was very, I could have been killed. My patient we could have been really badly hurt. We didn't have one scratch in us. My car situation is still getting itself sorted. I arrived yesterday, so I don't know what's going on right now. But I remember the dream I had months ago, how I got my cell. It was a white cell that was given unto me. Of course, I did purchase the cell, and I didn't think about it. It was a white cell, just like in my dream. And then when I was driving through this labyrinth. I was driving in this. It was a white Subaru, and it had a window on the roof. It had a little window, and I remember how happy I was because I opened it up and I could see the sky and I could see the clouds and I could even see birds flying, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, Father, I want this car. And then I had that accident in my car. Then I thought, okay, now my car's coming, okay. And it was a super. I love Subarus. I just feel I love those cars. I mean, I don't know very much about cars. In fact, if you were to ask me what's my favorite car, I love the old Mercedes. Ooh, those classic Mercedes that my friend in Denmark used to put together. He would build them beautiful with the motor and everything. And then they were leather inside. My favorite one was a royal blue one. There was a beautiful royal blue, and inside it had dark. It was all white leather. It was just absolutely beautiful, but it wasn't because it was a Mercedes. It was the way it was formed, the shape of it, and it drove so silently, and it had this. It was a beautiful ride, and I'm not into cars and things like that. I don't really care. I'm not a very materialistic person, although I love comfort and I love girly things. I'm a very girly girl, and I'm very feminine. I know who I am, and I love people. I am a happy person, and I want everyone to awake to their own divine potential and see the things they can create, because I'm seeing in my own life what I am creating, and it excites me, and it fills me with passion, and it fills me with joy, and I'm looking forward to so many things that I can't speak about right here because I can't. And I believe in dreams. I believe in the power of your mind. I believe that we can manifest many wonderful things into our lives. And the greatest thing is that when we were created, God, the creator, took, this is like you and me, and then he took his seed and implanted it inside each one of us. So this seed, God, is here, is in here, my heart, in your heart. Now, when you find yourselves, when you find yourselves, you will be able to know who you are and make a decision about your life. Make a decision about how you want to live. Make a decision what fulfills you. Awake to your own self. Fill yourselves, fill your cups with love, with self-love. Let go of stuff that no longer serve you. Find that love within yourselves and surrender to your own life, surrender to your own self, surrender to that being, and trust that life has the best for you. And trust like a child. I mean, you probably think, oh, what's that lady talking about? People hurt me and then this happened to me. Yes, we all carry baggage. We've all been told, don't be vulnerable. Don't you do that. They're going to hurt you again. Or your own thoughts tell you that. Tell them to shut up. What more can I tell you? Sing, dance, love. Be passionate in this life. The higher, the happier the music that you play, the music that you listen to, the way that your body moves, the way that you eat, the way that you partake of your food, the way that you bathe yourself when you're in the shower, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you walk, the way all your mannerisms depict, your soul speaks through you. This vessel is the temple of God. You're gods and goddesses. I don't consider no longer myself just anybody. I am not better than anyone else, but I know what's inside here and in here. I know that I have heart and mind coherence together. I've married those two. They're married. My heart and my mind are one. The joy in my heart, the knowing of myself is such that it makes me so happy to know that I am loved. I wish that I could tell you the miracles, the daily miracles I see in my life. There's many that don't believe in God. That's okay. You don't have to believe a word that I say. Just ask. Ask the stars. Walk into a dark night and just ask the wind, is there a God? What am I here for? And truly, with the desire of the deepest part of your soul, ask. I promise you, you'll get an answer. Ask, is there someone for me? If you're lonely, if you want a partner, don't just go and grab someone in a bar or just pick anybody. Ask, and then write down in a piece of paper the person that you desire. Who would you want to walk this life with? But before you do any of that, cleanse yourself. Get rid of all thoughts. Get rid of all the old system. The matrix that we're living in is an illusion. Create your own reality. What do you want to live? What kind of life do you want to live? What more can I tell you? Just love yourselves and expect the best of life. And when you are on your own, by yourself, and let's say you're having breakfast in the morning, there's no one around you. Grab your cup of tea or your coffee or your mate or whatever you're drinking. Completely submerge yourself in that moment and eat your bagel, or you don't eat. Just everything that you're doing at that moment, do it with passion and sip that coffee and just relax and then feel the wonder of life. The next time that you are in a restaurant with some friends or in a place where there's music, let your hair down, dance, but really dance. Don't worry that people are going to be looking at you or maybe thinking, oh, look at that person dance this way. Let your soul express itself through your movement with passion. The next time you are with your lover, kiss them like you've never kissed them before. Truly be in the moment. Don't be thinking, oh, I gotta fold that laundry. Think of the most sensual thing you can think at that moment with that person, with your lover. Listen to beautiful music that inspires you. Give yourself a foot massage, or give your lover a foot massage. Read a book and have a warm cup of tea or a nice cool glass of water next to you and submerge yourself in that book. When you're traveling, live each moment, embrace each moment and savor it. Like I did in Chile. I savored so many things. When I laid back on my bed, I was thinking, that prickly pear was so delicious. And the first time I saw it, I thought, oh my God, I haven't seen one of these in years. And I was so careful trying to pick it. And I still had some little things in my lips over a week later, because you're supposed to wash them first. And it had tiny little hairs that I had them on my lip. And I was trying to find them and pick them off. They were hurting so bad, but it would taste so delicious. So I had prickly pears. I had figs, one of my most delicious and favorite fruits. I also had mangoes. I mean, all the fruits are actually my favorite. I can't say one is more favorite than the other because I'm eating that. That's my favorite right there. I had the most delicious pears. I had grapes. I had, what are these called? They come from actually, they're from one of the Arab countries. They're kind of round and flat. They're called kakis in Chile. Uh, hmm, they're kind of orangey, and I absolutely adore them. And I was able to only eat one because the other ones were not firm. They have to be soft, really soft. I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. But they're called kakis, and they come from the Middle East. Um, and I had the most delicious avocados. So I ate a lot of delicious fruits, and um, fruit is my love. I love fruits. Oh my gosh, you guys. And everybody made the most delicious foods for me. I had a lot of different delicious dishes, and I have a lot of beautiful memories from my trip. And my little patient did amazing, and we had a beautiful 1 month of relaxation and spirituality, and nature was amazing, and people were amazing, and my life is amazing, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the next coming up trip that we're planning on to take, and I'm grateful for this channel. I'm grateful for all of you, and I pray that you may have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and that you may find yourselves and awaken to your own divinity. Your divinity is beautiful. You're beautiful as you are. Let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Embrace yourselves and love yourselves, because you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Life is not guaranteed. And if you are thirsty for knowledge, if you're thirsty for acquiring knowledge of the self, the only way you will acquire this knowledge of yourself is with yourself and your higher self, and surrendering to you. So start doing nice things for you, and when you do that, the higher self within you will start waking up. So do kind things for you. Give yourself a foot massage, or have someone give you a massage. Eat something delicious that makes you, that triggers the best memories. Forgive and let go of anybody that's hurt you. They served you, they were your lesson, and be grateful for them. I did that. I tried to hate those people, but it hurt me more than it hurt them. It hurt me more, so that was detrimental. And you know what I did? I saw them as children. I saw my once friend, I saw her with pigtails. Then I saw the father of my children. I saw him when he was a little child with his little feathers and playing like a child, like a boy. And I didn't hate them anymore. And I took that away from me because that was not good for me. So I choose. You could get to choose what you want to think. So I chose. And I thought, you know what? Hatred is no longer part of my life. Don't want it. I tasted it. It didn't taste good. So I choose what I get to experience. So when I am awaking, I've been awakening and awakening. My senses are more sensitive. So I feel more than before. I'm even more deeper. I am even more intense. So I am walking a totally different path. And I am more grateful than before. And I'm more happier than before. And I just had to tell you that you're loved. You're not alone. You're surrounded by beings that are supporting you. So hold on to yourself and hold on to God, whoever you deem God to be, and be grateful for life. I bless your life. I bless everything about you. Be childlike. Become more enamored with yourself. Love yourself so much so that it will be so much easier. You will attract more love into your life. You will have better finances. You will have better ideas. You will have better people that come to you. When you start respecting and having healthy boundaries, this didn't work for me. You did not work for me. This person did this, whatever. I let it go. I let it go. And then you heal the hurts that you didn't deserve. But you learn from that. Don't hold grudges, because grudges are ugly. They sit on you. They carry and they give you weight. You want to be light like a bird. So the next thing that you're going to experience is yourself. And when you experience yourself differently, oh man, life has many portals and you can get to open any doors. You know, like there's a game on TV. I don't remember what the price is, right? So if you guess and you decide and you conduct yourself in a specific way and you decide, you know what, I'm going to choose that door because this is what I have. I have expectations of my life. I expect life to treat me well because I deserve it. And I treat life, which is me, my life, myself, well. So life itself has to give me. And I don't do it because it is done so, but this is the universe has laws. These are not imposed by men. These are universal laws that are, I am discovering that it's like you do one thing for you, the universe reciprocates it 10 times over. You have a good thought, then you have a good action. Remember, we're thought first, then comes the action. So be God in action because you are gods and goddesses. And I want to have the best life, so I give the best of me. So I expect the best, and I am getting the best. I love you all, my beautiful soul family. Be good to yourselves, forgive yourselves, and most importantly, live life with gusto and eat lots of yummy things, lots of yummy fruits. Bye. Mwah.